Into the ropes and off. A flying tackle by and a drop kick. And Buddy Rogers. Oh, he's caught him right there. Hit that canvas pretty hard. And look at Buddy going to work now. Oh!
Hey everybody, it's Durgertime. Welcome to another episode of Total Extreme Wrestling 2016, Billy Corgan's NWA. And we just had a pretty good Starrcade from our last episode, and we're obviously moving towards our next pay-per-view. Let's just go ahead and check in on our mail here. Cody Rhodes feeling a little sore. Rachel Ellering thinks we could book her better, and we actually got a .03 for our Starrcade rating, which is actually not bad. Normally we've been hanging around .01, so we're kind of moving up on there pretty nicely. The big news from the end of the last episode is we actually have a contract out for Mercedes KV, who I guess in this is still labeled Sasha Banks as her character name. Could be a really good get, because we've been talking about how the women's division just felt a little weak. Definitely an afterthought for the NWA, and maybe something we can improve on. Rhonda is leaving soon, in 10 days, and we're pretty much done with her. And maybe that's a good get to kind of bring some life into the show a little bit cheaper. Ronda was very expensive, $16.90. Sasha's not that much cheaper, but probably not going to be as much of an issue to manage. Last time we put the belt on Ronda, she went away for 6 months and basically left the entire division while we were paying her for nothing. Definitely left a little bit of a sour spot for me, to be honest. Not a fan of that, but I guess that is what it is. We do have some people that are leaving in a little bit. Some of them we are just going to let leave. So Brandy and Julia and Zachary Wentz, who might pick back up, and Joey will probably pick back up once their contracts expire. But right now they're just going to lapse out completely. After that, we're bringing Paul Pinky George back in, and Cody Rhodes will not join us again. He refuses to, and we are going to let Christopher Daniels lapse as well. We've kind of had him go dark and disappear from the show. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do. It might be a good opportunity to have him put over somebody before he leaves. So something we'll have to think about. I'm not sure who or what yet, but we may have something to do with that. Now, the other thing I want to do is we kind of touched on it a little bit about the Founders Championship, which Tim Storm currently has. We're going to make some changes to how it works. We had previously said that it's going to work almost like a Money in the Bank belt, but I wanted to have a little bit more what's the best way to put this, a little bit more variety. I don't want it to be just this one time a year thing. I want it to be kind of a constant thing that exists. So I'm taking a lot of liberty with it, and I'm taking a lot of inspiration from Lucha Underground, which I think as a show did some very interesting things. And maybe one of the things I want to go back into at some point and look at a Lucha Underground Reborn. What would that look like now in the current landscape? This is something that I've been thinking about for a while. If you're interested in seeing that potentially, let me know if you want to see a Lucha Underground playthrough. I'm currently tweaking settings for a Chikara save, and I'm having a hard time finding any one particular mod that I really like that has it. I think I found the mod that I really like for it so far. It's not perfect, but it has the characters I want, and it has the time period I'm looking for. So I'm finally going to be able to move on to that. You might be seeing a couple episodes soon of that. I'm not sure how much of that we're going to do, or how frequently, but it's definitely going to be something we're probably going to go back to from time to time. But I've also been thinking about Lucha Underground, since now it's clearly dead in the water, and a lot of its people have moved on. What would it look like if it came back? And I've been kind of playing with that idea. Let me know if you want to see that. If you don't, cool. Then I won't maybe I won't do it. I'll just play it for fun, but let me know. But I'm going to take the Gifts of the Gods idea for the Founders Champion. So we'll probably address this once Tim Storm cashes it in. But instead of having an event where you win the championship, you're going to have basically 6 kind of medallions, 6 trophies that make up the championship that represent one of each of the founders of the NWA. And winning that and collecting them all will allow you to become the Founders Champion, which will allow you to have a title shot anywhere, anytime. So it basically turns it into a like a Money in the Bank briefcase. Where in Lucha Underground you had to like declare you're going to cash it in. You just get it. You have the opportunity to just be in any event that you want to insert yourself in. And we'll take a little bit of the maybe like the IWGP G1 belt, G1 kind of thing, where the briefcase, if you lose, maybe you can lose the belt to somebody else. And once it's cashed, the medallions scatter again, and the process goes all over again. Gives a nice thing to fight against. I don't know whether I want to make it all little belts, little championship medals. I might. I don't know. I feel like that would be a lot of little titles that would exist. That might be a little much. It might just be something we just track and story beat and vacate this when time is when it's needed to basically be gotten rid of. We'll have to look at it. Tim Storm will probably be cashing pretty soon, I would imagine. We'll have to just decide where and when and how that works. I have an idea, and it's going to piss a lot of people off, so it'll be a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and let's fast forward over to Starrcade and see if we can get Sasha on the roster. Maybe we'll have her on the first show of the Starrcade here. And we also have to do another pay-per-view soon. When was the last one we did? Was it in July? We had the Super Cup coming up in September. Oh, wait. No, we're still in May, right? So, New Horizons is in June 3rd. Yeah. Okay, so we got some time, actually. We got about a couple episodes of Starrcade left. And that will probably be Cody's last pay-per-view. So that's what we're going to be working towards. All right, let's get to it. All right, what do we got here? Probably our contracts coming in. Kevin Condren has a complaint. He's not happy with the push he's getting. Well, we'll take a look at it, see what he's at. Maybe he's moved up a little bit. Speaking of Lucha Underground and the save, it still exists. And has made a contract extension to Sami Callihan. That's fine. Winks in. It's been accepted. Complete the contract. Sounds good. And let's go ahead and look at Kevin. Are you... Yeah, I did have you an enhancement talent. Seems a little rough. Lower mid-carder. Good for you. I kind of wish the game did that automatically. Just let you move up and down a little bit more freely. But, oh well. I guess it just won't do that. Because it's a shame you get a push complaint when you don't even know that he should be, higher. I don't know. Seems like a weird system. All right, let's keep on going. All right. Oh, WWE Hall of Fame inducted the Big Show. That makes sense. All right. Chuck Taylor got an extension from Smash. Joey Janela's gone. We can bring him back. I think we had to wait a little bit, but we'll see. Oh, no, we don't. Let us... I don't remember. What did we previously have him under? Well, he'll let us know. Don't worry. Get him for 3 years. You were 14. Okay. So, just make that even 15, and that should be fine. Perfect. Bring him back in. Oh, no, Tessa... God damn it. Got injured. You're not even on. You didn't even wrestle for me. Christ. How long are you going to be out? It's a strain. Can't be too bad. Zachary Wentz is gone. Let's go ahead and bring him back in. Let's see what I can get you for. You want 790. What if I, like, I don't know. Blue chip, maybe, for 2 years. 760. Hiring veto. You don't really hate anybody, right? 730. Perfect. Every penny counts sometimes. He could easily be a upper mid carder for us in a year, so I don't mind that at all. Tessa Blanchard. I just want to see what it is. Christ. 3 days. Okay, that's not bad. She's a little fatigued. I got scared there because for a second I thought we gave her the women's belt, but I think it was Tanil that now is the women's champion. Yep. It scared me. Banks is in. She should be a heel. Absolutely. We will put her in the women's division. Perfect. Sounds good. So I guess it really depends on how much you want to be realistic. Or, like, do we want to put her as Mercedes or Sasha? We'll keep Banks because that seems to be what the game is allowing us. I mean, but technically that character was made by WWE. She would never be allowed to actually keep that. But we'll do it for now. That's fine. All right, we got our show tonight, and we got her just in time, so we'll probably head debut her. And we'll see what is her stats like. I should probably look at that. Strong brawling, strong mat, strong submissions, above average aerial, very strong performance, pretty good on microphone, pretty good sex appeal, pretty good star quality. Yeah. B plus heel. I would actually put that up higher personally. I think as a babyface, she should probably be a C, and as a heel, she should probably be an A minus, A minus probably. But that's fine. What's your gimmick? Is cocky? Sounds good. Yeah, that seems right. Okay, and we'll make her definitely we'll definitely make her a heel. And keep that, because that definitely is her strongest suit. I think one of the worst things that they did in WWE was make her a face when she showed up on the main roster. She's such a natural heel. I don't know why you would lose that just because people liked her. I don't know. All right. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh. What do we got here? 85%. We got a lot of notable factors. We cleared our air a lot. PJ Black was providing food. Someone had mentioned earlier maybe getting rid of him. I don't disagree. We might do something with that. Tessa and Viper are working elsewhere tonight. That's fine. 1 hour Starcade. Let's go ahead and let's just meddle. And you know what I want to do? Let's try to get Sasha to become a friend with Ashley. Just provide some mentorship. Maybe we'll get a positive relationship. Our backstage rating is not bad, but we're going to be losing a lot of people's relationships very soon. Brandy's leaving. Cody's going to be leaving. That kind of thing. So we're going to lose some of that positivity. No effect this time. We'll keep on working on it. Not a big deal. It's going to be still showed on Hulu. I do want to get a better deal for that at some point. Pickfest venue, Plymouth County Fair, still what we're doing. Getting about 1,100 people. About the same as what we've been getting. That's fine. Plymouth County Fair. Okay. Let's go ahead and book it. So we got a couple episodes before the actual pay-per-view that we got to work towards. Some storylines we need to resolve, and we need to figure out what we want to do with some people. We obviously have kind of a building of a feud with Pillman and Switchblade, and we have sort of the thing with Sami and Josephus. But I want to add, I think we need to have a going away for Chris Daniels, so we got to figure out what to do with him. I'm not sure yet. but we'll figure out something. All right, let's go ahead and book it, and we'll see where we're at. All right, we are back. Boy, I forgot how little wrestling happens on some of these shows because I got a lot of segments and not a lot of wrestling going on. Let's go ahead and go forward and show you what I got. So we start off with a wrestling match. It's pretty bad. This is sort of a warm-up, not a pre-show, but like a warm-up entry of the night. Little work the crowd. Von Erichs defeat some local talent. Two guys I grabbed. 4 minutes. Marshall Von Erich defeats Josh Woods by pinfall. Just trying to give some matches, give them some popularity boost. Actually, it does the opposite, though. It actually loses some heat for the fresh tag team division storyline. I kind of wanted them to have, like, a win, but apparently didn't really do what we wanted. It did improve their performance, though, at the very least, so at least we're giving them something. And I think just building momentum for them, and that will increase their popularity, and we are more of a popularity over performance company anyways, so they will probably start to move up the ladder and start to improve a bit. That's the hope, at least. In a better angle, we have an interview backstage with Brian Pillman, who previously had attacked Jay White after Jay White attacked him back. He kind of protected somebody in the ring, actually, that Jay White was assaulting. And he's interviewed about the feud with Jay White, and he has this to say. He says, Jay White is a bully, nothing more. Another kid who comes into NWA seeking a spotlight and a notice from the new corrupt corporate leadership of this company. Jay White wants to be on the top, and like a parasitic fish on a shark, he wants to ride my fins to the top. Well, I'm not going to let him bully anybody else. If he wants me, he can have me. But he doesn't understand when push comes to shove, I can become a bit of a loose cannon. So White, I'm calling you out. What do you say? Let's see if if your star is really on the rise. Gets the crowd hotter. And basically Pillman calls out Jay White for a match, kind of building up the crescendo of their feud. Does pretty well. 64, not bad. We have a video just playing up Nick Aldous versus Will Ospreay #1 contendership match tonight at the main event. And we have an interview. Well, actually, it doesn't say it on here, but probably should do more freestyles. I keep on forgetting it doesn't show the title on here, which is annoying. But in the middle of a Carl's Jr. commercial, Icarus gets assaulted by the reemerged Christopher Daniels. Hasn't been seen in weeks and has previously been the avatar of the cult of Josephus. And now that the cult of Josephus seems to be falling apart and in disarray, the avatar comes back to attack his former disciple and leaves him down and out. Gets the crowd hotter. The cult in disarray storyline has advanced. No improvements, and it gets a C-. It's pretty good. So it seems to be Christopher Daniels is not pleased with the direction that the cult is heading, and possibly the corporate shilling that the disciple Icarus has now fallen into. We have a promo out in the middle of the ring where Rhonda's basically pleading to the fans to give her another shot, saying she wants her rematch. She wants to prove that she's the baddest woman in NWA. Before she could even start, she gets cut off. And apparently she was terrible with no script. She demanded to not work a script, and her dialogue was a mess. And she gets cut off by Sasha Banks, who makes a surprise debut in the middle of Ronda's promo and challenges her. She gets a poor rating for her new gimmick of cocky, which is shocking. Something we'll have to look towards. And she gets a rating of a C for her debut. And they have a match. And it had great heat and decent wrestling. Sasha Banks defeated Ronda in 15 minutes by submission with a bank statement. It suffered a little bit. I wanted it to be kind of a spectacle, but there just wasn't enough time, apparently. I thought over 15 minutes would have done it. Left the crowd buzzing. Sasha had a 52. Ronda had a 47. So overall, better speaker, right? Better performer, better wrestler, half the price. Sounds good to me. I don't know. Even though this is not quite the match rating that I would have wanted from their debut, we'll live with it. And finally, we have, well, an intervention before the main event. The leadership of the NWA, Paul Pinky George III, comes out, clearly knowing that Nick Aldis is kind of aligned with Billy Corgan behind the stage, and says, it's not going to be that easy. I get to make the rules here. And I gotta say, I don't think the fans want to see Will Ospreay versus Nick Aldis. I think what they want to see is a triple threat. Clearly throwing a wrench in the works to force Nick Aldis to lose. Gets a C-, which is not bad. And thus, the main event now is Nick Aldis versus Will Ospreay versus the heelish Sami Callihan. It's an exceptional match, though. Nick Aldis does ultimately defeat Will Ospreay and Sami Callihan. Nick Aldis actually wins by submitting Sami Callihan. Will Ospreay head and shoulders above everybody else. I was a little upset about this match, but I got him by looking dominant to end up ultimately feeling pretty okay about it. So I'm happy with that. Nick Aldis was the weak link, struggling with everybody else. And that's pretty clear. 81, 71, and a 60. He's not that far behind, but compared to the other two, they're really performing a lot better. But Nick Aldis does get to be the number one contender and face Cody Rhodes at Cody's final pay-per-view. So, I mean, obviously that telegraphs, for the most part, who will take the belt. But, that I think that I was thinking that Nick Aldis would be a nice sort of return of old NWA. It'd be nice that we had this nice run with Cody. It didn't go quite where we wanted it to go because of the injuries. But to go back to return to form, bring Nick Aldis, the guy who kind of brought us here, back to the belt, to the title picture, would be kind of nice. Even though Will Ospreay definitely should be in the title picture, Sami Callihan definitely should be in the title picture, I thought it would be a nice to give him a little bit of a reign, a little run, another win under his belt, before it all goes away, I guess, because obviously Nick Aldis is kind of being outclassed by everybody else here. Gets a B. It's a great match. Ends the show at a C, which is not bad. No penalties. We do have some penalties because of our live experience, but no show penalties for ratings, and we did increase our popularity, which is good. A little expensive of a show, but not horrendous. But I wanted to use Rhonda one last time before we got rid of her. And I thought that would be a good way to just give Sasha a little bit of a rocket. Ronda's super pissed at that match, but doesn't really matter. And Will Ospreay needs some time to heal. And we got a 0.3 again, 0.03. Not bad. We should look to see if there's anybody else that would be willing to broadcast us at some point. Still not really. CW is still pay-per-view, and I think we're still running them. Yeah, we're running that for events. Hulu is our Starcade for subscription. El Rey, I'm not really that interested in. And Twitch and YouTube are much smaller. Small and tiny compared to medium and medium. Still probably our best shot. Would love to get a bigger channel, like something that's even like either free to air or commercial would be nice in the US. Like who's out there? What would we need to get? What are their sizes, first of all? Like USA is big, we're not going to get that. TNT would be great. Fight Network is too small. Telemundo is probably not going to be for us. TBS would be one we're looking at. Spike would be a good one for us. NBC would be pretty much impossible. MTV would be great, but very unlikely. That's probably what we're looking at. CBS is not going to happen. ABC is not going to happen. Access is possible, but not really what we were looking for. So we were looking for that Spike or maybe TBS. Spike is pro wrestling, TBS is not. I would wonder what we would need to get in order to get up to them. I wish it told you. I wish it gave you like an idea of like what their limit is in terms of like where they'd be willing to talk to us about. Because it would be nice to move up to a slightly bigger television show. All right, guys, thank you for joining me today. We will see you next time for another Starrcade, and then after that, after that, I think we have another Starrcade, but eventually we'll be getting to that pay-per-view. Will be Cody Rhodes' last pay-per-view, which will be kind of fun to watch. All right, thanks, guys. See ya.